Hey folks, Ryan Walker, Ozarks Smallmouth Alliance, coming to you semi-live from OSA Central, bringing you another installment of OSA Streamer 101. Tonight we've got a really cool pattern for you. One of my favorites, the craft fur baitfish. This thing is incredible underwater, and some pretty cool tying techniques here. Nothing fancy, nothing overly complicated. Just something kind of cool. You get to kind of play around with hollow fly tying styles and mix and match your colors to see fit. So we're going to talk about the materials list, and we're going to get right into it. Thanks for being here. All right, our materials list for this one. Starting out with the hook, we've got a Gamakatsu Finesse Wide Gap 230411. I'm tying this in a size 1/0. This is a really cool kind of an octopus style hook, and very fun to tie on. Heavy gauge hooks, so good hook set on that one. Most of the fly is going to be craft fur, and this stuff is so much fun to play with. So I've got white and chartreuse, because if it ain't chartreuse, it ain't no use. And you can mix and match your colors. I do a lot of different colors with this pattern. So underneath, I want a little bit of the gill to show through. I want a little bit of red to show through. You can use whatever dubbing you like for red. On this one, I kind of use a kind of a coral color Master Bright from Umpqua, and I really like the way that it shows through when it's wet. For our eyes, these are Living Eyes, and these are in the Wind series. There's Earth, Wind, and Fire in Living Eyes. These are 7mm in Wind. And they're pretty cool stick-on eye to play with. Thread, you need big fly thread, 400 denier in white. Again, match your color to what you want. And then the head will finish in UV clear. I'm going to use flow. You can use thick if you want. I prefer flow for this fly. So we're going to get right into this thing. This is a lot of fun, man. I love tying this pattern. It's just such an effective pattern to fish as well. So here we go. All right, so as you can see, I've kind of got the thread, the hook coated in thread. Again, on flies like this, it's really easy to crowd the eye of the hook. So, you know, as we talked about in one of our other tying videos, if you'll start that thread where you want the head of your fly to start, most times you're not going to crowd the hook. So that's what I've done here. One of the little tools you're going to need is just a standard old barber's comb. They make all kinds of brushes and stuff. You can use Velcro, whatever you want to do. I use one of these old free, I think I get these free in the hotels that I go in. And so I'm going to brush out my craft fur, and we'll go off camera with this for a little bit, but I'll get a good hank of it brushed out and get my piece cut off that I want to use for the tail. Alright, so as with any fur, real or fake, we are going to have under fur in there. One of the things you can do is kind of brush that under fur out with the comb, starting with the big end and then work down to the smaller end to work. See, it pulls some of those short fibers out that you don't want flying everywhere. I'm going to measure it off exactly how long I want it, and then I'm going to square the butts. Now, this is kind of cool too. If you just put the tail on this straight off the end, it's going to kind of lay funny, and I don't like the way it lays. So I'm actually going to get it in this way and use a pinch wrap to get it on there. Switch hands with it. Get it wrapped in really tight so you've got a good anchor. And then I'm going to fold it back over. And cinch it down. I forgot a couple of materials in my materials list, and I'm going to talk about them now. So for the under flash, I'm going to use Light Bright on this fly. Wing and Flash. I just really like the way that it looks on a fly. Plus it flows really well and looks really cool underwater. So I'm going to pull a little more than that out. Again, you You can trim this up in the post. You don't want to overwhelm the fly with flash, so we'll get that tied down, get a couple of anchor wraps on there. And I'm actually going to double it up on the thread, bring it down, and then lay it back. Take it up, tie it to where it's joined there, and just anchor it down. Now we're going to get the kind of the gill on there. We'll just take a couple of wraps forward. And with this, any of these coarse dubbings, I always use a pretty fair amount of dubbing wax. This stuff's coarse; it doesn't like to stick to the thread. Now we want this to show through because we're going to be putting materials over it. So get a good hank of it here. Don't worry about being neat and professional and all trim and tidy. The fish don't care about that, man. Tie flies for fish to eat, not tie flies for fishermen to look at. We'll start laying that down on there. Now I go all the way back. Get it good and wound on and go forward. And look at there, we are stopped pretty much where we want to be when we start doing the overdubbing or the overbody here. So the belly of my fly is going to be white, so I'm going to put white craft fur on the underside. We'll brush some out. Get all that nasty under fur out of there. Check my length. Pretty good. Square up the butts. Now again, this is belly, so it's going on first and it's going on underneath. We got it cinched. We want to wrap it just a little ways around. And always come back in and twist it over a little bit. Now I will come back in and trim these butts up. None of that's really going to be seen because the fur's going to go back over the top of it. Alright, so our next thing is going to be some more wing and flash, and this is kind of a UV herring color, and this is going to be the strip along the back of the fly. You can see right there. You don't want to overpower it. Just want to get enough to where it's seen. I'm going to do the same thing I did on the back. I'm going to double it up, but I'm going to lay it on top. Like so. Fold it forward. Get it bound down so it lays flat there. Now we're going to be ready for our chartreuse. Before you get that chartreuse on, you can kind of get that into position where you want it. About time to make a trip to Plateau Fly Shop. Get some more chartreuse craft fur. Junk out. Trim it up. Get it all squared off. I'll try to get as much of that out of there as I can so it's not as bulky. Take my comb through it again. Yeah, we'll do the same thing here. Straighten, square those off just a little more. Lay that up. A hold of it. Get a hold of it. Yeah. Daddy like. Looks good. Alright, I'm going to bind this stuff down really good. You're going to put all kinds of epoxy on this, so. Alright, now something pretty cool. Find an ordinary Bic ballpoint pen like this and gut it. Strip all the guts out. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold this fly backwards. Boom, like so. So really what you want to do is, as much as you can, separate the white and the chartreuse. Get it on the eye of the hook. You're pushed, all pulled back, like so. Now, pull that thread through, you'll feel it. Now we're going to form the head to get it to stay back like that. Really make it a thread dam right here. Oh, wet my fingers down a little bit. Just to get everything to kind of lay back the right way. Now we can whip finish it. I'm not going to even worry about gluing this right here because I'm going to put epoxy over it. There we kind of got the base of the fly. We'll come in and clean some of these short fibers up that we missed on the comb. Next thing is going to be the eyes and the epoxy. So we'll clean this guy up just a little bit and then we'll do that. Alright, so I kind of cleaned it up a little bit, got everything situated the way that I wanted it, cleaned up a few of these short hairs. You've noticed I've rated my wife's hair clips and found the smallest one I could and clip it on there, you know, to the back of the hook. Really helps keep the materials in place. So now we're ready to put some eyes on. Take some Zap-A-Gap. Low on the old Zap-A-Gap. Really finding my spot. Just dub a little bit on there, not too heavy. We get an eye on there. We'll do the same thing for this side. Really all that does is just secure it a little bit better. Most of this is going to have epoxy on it, so before you pinch them down, I always look at the top and make sure they're kind of even, and they are. Here we go. We have eyes. All right, now it's epoxy time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this epoxy on my fingers and run it back on there just to get it down, just to get it to lay down so I can take that clip off and finish epoxy in the head. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of epoxy here. Go right back to the back of the eye. Same thing on the underside. Again, less is better right here for now. Now we can hit with this with our UV light. And the fly is going to stay, or should stay anyway, in shape. See if we did it right. Kaboom! Alright, next thing is to finish up our head, finish the fly. Alright, so you can see we've got the basic shape of a minnow now. And then now what we want to do is we're going to form the head a little bit more with the Loon UV Clear. And we do this for a couple of reasons. So it maintains that shape. It gives a little bit more hydrodynamic and gives it a little bit of durability as well. So pretty easy to do. I always start around the eyes. Don't ask me why. That's just what I do. Lay a bead around the eyes and up on the nose, up on the head right there. If you got anything out of place, now's the time to fix it like that. Hit it with our light. We'll go back over this with our light. We're going to do the other side now. Same thing around the eye. Up on the front of the head. Make sure we're getting the thread good. Turn it over and do the other side. So one key thing on this fly is take your epoxy back to just about the edge of the barb or where the hook starts to bend up. That will keep this stuff from fouling up on the hook when you're casting it. It was a pretty cool trick I saw somewhere. I don't remember where. See the spot I missed right there. Yeah. Oh, nice and dry. That's the way we like it. Alright, very cool. This is a cool pattern to fish with, so I'm going to come back on this side and brush out anything that might be extraneous there. And you can see, I don't know how you can see it on video, but you can really see that coral color through there, that pinkish color through there. I'm going to clean up a little bit my wing and flash back there. And there we have it. Craft fur bait fish. That is a smallie killer. Swims well, doesn't twist your line up, has a ton of action in the water, and is just a heck of a lot of fun to fish. Alright, so there's kind of a brace of craft fur minnows. That's a great pattern to fish, and again, you can get creative on the colors. I just love pink and white, pink and purple, chartreuse and white, olive and white. Really fun fly to fish.